Hello, everyone. Hello, welcome. Welcome to episode 18. We're here for the human experience, and we're going to talk about our energy, our higher self, and our guides. Thanks for joining. So let me ask you, have you ever thought, wouldn't it be great to have a way to connect more deeply to yourself and to be aware of when your energy and vibe are off or on point? How about connecting to your higher self and your guides consciously? We do it all the time, but wouldn't it be nice to do it more consciously and aware, right? Yeah, I think so. I love it. I'm going to say. So I'm going to tell you how we're going to do this and how I learned to connect more with myself and my guides and my higher power. Most of the time, though, we just don't have time to pay attention to how we feel. Ultimately, unless we feel really unwell, and then we probably grumble about our body and how it hates us. If we are really unwell, then we are probably making deals with ourselves and God or Source, right? If I get out of this alive, I'll do better, or I promise. And once we feel better, we carry on and think nothing of our promise or the commitment we made by saying, I'll do better. The commitment we actually make is to ourselves. Because if we've got into this position, then there's obviously something in our lives that wants a little attention, and it's usually our body and our higher self. And our body listens to absolutely everything we say, feel, and feed. Welcome. I am Lisa, and I am here to help people shift their beliefs, patterns, perceptions, and energy, and connect to your higher selves. So who hasn't said the same thing, right? I'll do better next time, right? I've totally done that. I've totally done that many, many, many times. I won't do that again. Why did I do that? All those kinds of things, right? So, which is fine, because ultimately we are here for the human experience, so no big deal. But these are times that, these are opportunities, and these are moments in our lives where they are repetitive and they are tiresome or distressing. And it's our body and our higher selves way of letting us know that there is disharmony within us. So it's those repetitive ones, the stuff that makes us tired or overwhelmed. That's what we want to look at, right? And this is where we want to connect in with ourselves. Human beings, we love to struggle because we think it is the best way to learn. And guaranteed, I have learned many ways, many things when I am in struggle, right? Why did I do that, right? However, it's also, and what we also say is too, it also makes us who we are, right? These are true statements. We also have the power to change that thought because we are in charge of our thoughts, and we don't actually need to struggle if we make different choices. So we can choose differently. Just depends on what you want, right? And connecting in with yourself and becoming, and connecting in with yourself and your guides and your higher self gives you that more conscious awareness and conscious connection, right? It helps us ground as well. It does, and it gets us in alignment. It is just such a wonderful feeling, honestly. So, like I said, we like to struggle. So when we are doing that, the trillions of cells in our body have conscious awareness. They also have roles that help our innate system and they also play roles that help our innate system function, right? The breathing, the blood, our heart, all of that, right? And it all runs on our energy and our innate system. So our trillions of cells have a conscious awareness. However, when we mistreat, abuse, tolerate, or ignore ourselves, our body will act based on how we treat ourselves. So if I treat myself badly or I eat too much chocolate, which I've been known to do, and I get a stomach ache, it's my body's way of saying, you probably shouldn't do that. Don't do that again. And it's not the first time I've done it either. It's crazy what we do to ourselves. They're again for the human experience. However, if it becomes such a, like I say, we're now mistreating ourselves or we're abusing ourselves, we're starting to tolerate or ignoring what our body is trying to tell us, our body will show us that. And some of the one word that has definitely helped me to shift some of my repetitive habits was looking at it and asking, is this self-respect? How much do I respect myself to actually change my habits, change my thoughts, right? Depending on how I feel, right? If it makes me feel really bad, I'm going to change it because I don't really like to feel really bad. I don't. So I will use the words, am I respecting myself in these situations? You'll know, right? We all know. So our body feels the intentions and totally will act accordingly. So it will show its discomfort in some way through a tummy ache or other. Here's another example. So if I'm telling my brain or my body that it's stupid, or that I know that you hate me, my body just hates me, why doesn't it work properly? It will show me, there again, more ways of that stupid, right? Or that it doesn't work for me. It's because I have that belief that my body is stupid or it's not working for me. Then law of attraction kicks in, of course, because it is a universal law and it works all the time. So then it gives us that evidence of being stupid, or more evidence of why we're stupid, or why our body isn't working properly, or what we think, right? So it is that. This essentially has the same effect as telling a child or others that they are stupid. So a personal story. In school, in elementary school, the teacher says, get up to the board, Lisa. And I'm just thinking, oh my God, please not me, right? We've all been there, I'm sure. And if you haven't, that's awesome. But you've probably been there in some other situation. So at the blackboard, so I'm standing up at the blackboard, hand there, ready, I gotta write an answer. I don't know what the answer is, I'm freaking out. My body totally goes into fight, flight, or freeze. I can't think. And then the teacher says, what's wrong with you? Are you stupid? And the rest of the class laughs. Of course they do. Of course. Not unusual behavior. However, my body now definitely can't think. And now I'm probably, that's given me a bit of trauma potentially. And in those situations, I'm going to revert back to that fight, flight, or freeze. And I can't think. So what is being told to me, my body is taking in that emotion and I'm already, there it is. So anytime anybody asks me what the answer is, I go into that mode again. And it's a child, and that's what happens as children. And if we're, the more that we connect in with ourselves and ask ourselves questions, then the more that we can actually break and understand those patterns of behavior that were created as children. I don't have that stressor in that regard anymore because I can go up to the blackboard. I probably don't know the answer, but I'm okay being up at the blackboard. So it's that emotional response that's kicking in, and that gives us that holy moly. So when this happens, our body does the same thing, right? It goes into that stress response, and the more that we repeat it, we start to believe it. But just because it's in there doesn't mean that we can't just learn something new about ourselves and shift our energy about it, right? It's about shifting our energy and our thoughts and our perceptions. So, and ultimately, I really never thought much about this until I started connecting my thoughts and emotions and shifting, and it started to shift my life. And so when I'm not feeling good mentally or emotionally, then I know that I'm the one that has to actually figure it out. Unless there's something medically wrong, then please go see the doctor. So here are some of the ways that I actually learned how to get more in tune with myself. Number one is always asking myself questions. I didn't do that before. I do it all the time now. And I ask my higher self questions. The other thing that I did was I took Reiki Level 1. Reiki Level 1 is really connecting in with yourself and your intuition and the hand positions. However, we can also set a timer and take about 15 minutes and do just to feel the energy in your body. And I will do this by doing a body scan meditation. And so I can either start at the top of my head or my feet, doesn't matter where, but I want to start either here and work all the way down, or from my feet all the way up because I'm doing a full body scan because I want to feel how my body feels. Because we definitely don't do that, right? Unless it's in pain and then it's like, oh my God, my back or my knee or my elbow, whatever, right? So I want to take a few minutes. So I will set a timer, 15 minutes, just to give yourself that relaxed time. So I'm going to get into meditative. So I'm going to get comfortable. I'm going to get into that, start breathing, get my body to relax and begin that. So if I'm starting at the top of my head, I want to think about the muscles in my head. I want to think about the muscles in my forehead, and I want to think about the tendons and all the tissue and my brain and the organs in my head, my pineal gland, those kinds of things. I don't want to intensely think about them. I just want to think about them and let them relax. That is my, I just want to feel them relax. So I'm thinking about as I have my eyes closed and I'm just breathing and I'm just feeling what it feels like to have the tension in my head and my face and just everywhere just start to kind of melt and just feel that relaxed state. Because most of the time we don't know what that feels like. And so when we can feel that feeling, then it's easier to come back to that feeling when things are a little bit chaotic or out of disorder, right? So I want to feel that. So I want to, and then I'm just going to go down and I want to feel like my eyeballs relax and I want to feel, the tendons and the muscles around in my eye socket area. I want that to relax and my jaw to relax. And I'm just going to continue on down and scan my body. I'm going to tell my organs to relax. I'm going to feel my heart. I'm going to, acknowledge my lungs because that's what really our body wants us to acknowledge it. So I want to do that full on right down to the tippy toes. I want to feel my energy and how my body actually feels. How does it really feel, right? Do we even ask ourselves that? No, we don't. So I'm going to ask myself, how am I feeling, right? So I do this body scan. So you want to feel your awareness in your body areas. Do they get tingly? Do they get warm? What are you sensing? It's not about judging and it's not about criticizing. And it's not that, oh, I need to go off on that. No, I just want to make note of it. If you are feeling any tightness, which potentially, of course, we do because we live here on this planet and we are here for the human experience. So when I feel any tightness, I just give it love and then I'm going to ask it what it needs. I'm just going to make note of it and I'm going to continue on with my body scan. I want to see if I'm feeling any tingling sensations. I want to pay attention to my body because my body is my emotional guidance system. It is my GPS and it's going to tell me when things are amok. So I want to notice how my body is responding when I do this body scan. What thoughts come up as well, right? And then I'm going to take, after I'm done getting right, top to bottom, then I can take a few minutes and just reflect on what might have come up, how my body's feeling, and what does it need. So when I start to do that, and that's probably one of the first things with doing Reiki as well, is I just started to do this body scan and just kind of feel how, down into my hands. Don't forget about your hands too. Down into my hands, down my arms. I want to feel everything just relax. What does my body feel like relaxed? Because I wanted to tune into that. I know what it feels like when I'm stressed out and tense. And I know that I mostly hold my body and I probably have my shoulders up and shallow breathing, right? So I want to know what it feels like to feel that relaxation. I want to connect in with myself, my body. And I always want to give it love. This is me giving it love because now I'm just focused on me. And your body will feel like it is in the spotlight and it will respond like it is in the spotlight. It will feel that. You will feel that and just notice it's like, oh, hey, you might feel things that you haven't really felt like or felt. Because it's being in the spotlight, it's just like everything else in our lives. It wants attention, and especially your attention. Your body wants you to pay attention to it. And once I started to do that for myself, I have better communication with myself. It's about building that communication, right? So this helps me to sense my body, and it's also building that new experience. It's me getting in tune with my energy, right? My connection to me. And so the more that I practice body scanning, the more aware and in tune I become with my body and what it's trying to tell me. I don't always pick it up all the time, or I ignore it because we have free will here, right? We live here for, we're here for the human experience, so we do have free will. But I am communicating with my innate body, so I'm also respecting myself. Self-care, all those kinds of wonderful things that we know that we should be doing. And there again, within 15 minutes, I can do a quick body scan and feel much more centered and grounded. And noticing how our emotions and our body responds or reacts indicates harmony or disharmony. It's so that you can adjust yourself or have that awareness. If you can't make any adjustments or make any changes in your life if you don't actually know where they are. So with your body, and it's about connecting with your energy, your unique energy. So when we connect to our higher selves, we need to sense our body and thoughts by asking questions that our ego, our experience brain, doesn't know the answers to. So when I'm connecting with my higher self, because it will communicate through different ways in my body. And so when I'm asking a question of my higher self, my guides, and my ego brain will come along with past experiences and all kinds of other things, I actually tell it to be quiet. I will just be like, shh, you don't know the answer, so I need to hear what the answer is. And it's also about learning to trust yourself, right? Sensing your energy, feeling your energy, asking your higher self questions about yourself, or, what is your body trying to tell you, right? It is connecting to you. The one way you can also practice is by taking a deck of cards and asking your higher self and your guides what the next card will be. You can do this to practice trusting yourself and learning and feeling what it feels like when your higher self is talking to you, when your guides are speaking to you. Excuse me. So it's about that trusting, right? So the deck of cards, right? They do that. I think I remember seeing an episode or a flash of, Ghostbusters, the original, and Bill Murray is flashing cards because he wants to know how powerful our brain is, right? And the guy was getting it and the girl was not, right? And so ultimately the guy was getting it right. He was nailing it. And so that is our higher self. It is. It really is. And we do it all the time when we use our intuition and we use our guides, and they connect with us all the time. But now this is about learning how to connect with them consciously with awareness and asking your higher self, what should I do today? What do I need to do today? What's important? What's not important? Wonderful. Like, it's amazing how much you can ask your higher self for that. And it's about learning to trust yourself and getting in tune with your energy. The other tools I will use is oracle cards. I like to use this deck here. It is called Earth Magic. And if you've not used oracle cards, you can put them in the sunshine. There's all kinds of ways to clear and clean them. I can actually just hold them in my hand and say clear and clean. I can knock on them 3 times. There's a 3. Of course, we can shuffle, right? New deck, you definitely want to shuffle and do anything. You can smudge them. But what I use the cards for really is, there again, getting in tune with my higher self and myself, right? So then I will, right, you shuffle the deck, you can cut the deck, I can take the one from the bottom, I can do all kinds of different ways to get the message. I can have one pop out, if that's what my higher self wants, to give me that message. And then something, whatever the card is, will resonate. Now, if you are, and so you can just ask the question. If you have any not clear on the question, then you may get a card that might not really resonate with you. So just reframe your question, because your question is based on the energy, right? How you feel about the question you're asking. So if you're scared of the answer as well, that may give you a different answer. It is about learning how your body feels and how your energy is feeling and your emotions and your thoughts It's all connected, right? So when I'm using the cards, it is more for clarity. It's like, okay, I already know the answer, usually. If I don't, then I'm gonna refer to the cards, and it will resonate. There will be something that is going to resonate within that card. So that is how I will use the cards. Little story. At one of the markets, I had a deck of cards there, and the lady was asking me, so what's, how does this work, right? And I give her just what I told you guys just now. And so she shuffled the card, and I said, and I don't need to know. I let her shuffle the deck. I let her ask her question. To this day, I have no idea what she asked. 2 cards popped out, and by the look of her face, plus I asked her, I'm like, do they resonate for you? And she says, yeah, they do. And so she was kind of shocked. And of course, the Oracle decks they have a little book with them as well that gives you a little more insight. Of course, they always have some amazing photos on them that also you can get intuitive information from. This lady did as well from the cards. And then she read the information out of the books and was just blown away by what came up for her. So like I said, I have no idea what came up for her or how it even, but I could tell by her reaction and her response, it was a good thing, and it gave her actually clarity, right? So I like to use the cards for a little more clarity. The other thing I like to do is use a pendulum. So you want to, if you've not used a pendulum, you want to make sure you get your yes and no answered. What direction are we going to use for yes and no? Usually it's clockwise, counterclockwise, right? You can also ask it, and this is just connecting you and your energy. You and you, it's all about you. So as you're using the pendulum, there again, you want to be clear on your answer, your question. If your ego brain kind of gets in there, then just tell it to be quiet. Because it doesn't know the answer. You want your higher self's answer. And so you can just ask it. If it feels like you need to reframe the question, you'll know, because you might not get the right answer out of, or the right response. I shouldn't say the right response. The response that is right for you is more it. So it is, and it's about a practice, right? It does take practice, because sometimes it's just not, things are not lining up, and sometimes it's not the right question that you're asking. So then reframe the question, or maybe just give it a break and try again later. But it really is about you connecting in with yourself and asking yourself questions, getting in tune with you, checking in with your energy. And the more that you do that, the more the connection that you are building. The other way I can do it as well, I can do it by using my own body. Some people call it muscle testing, sway testing. I think there's a few ways to actually do this. There's a way that you can, so you put your fingers together, and I want to create some resistance. You've probably seen people do this with their arm, right? Holding it down, that. Same thing, I can do that with my fingers. So I might ask myself, or I might say to myself, I am Lisa. And I cannot, and you can feel it in your body as well, besides in your fingers. And potentially too, you also get that response, yes, in your head. The other one I like to use for my no response, just to feel what that feels like, is I love liver. And it just doesn't feel the same. And I also hear, no, I don't, because I definitely don't. So that's one way. Some people, you've seen them probably doing this. And they will ask the same question, because I want to feel what it feels like. So I'm going to ask, I'm going to say, my name is Lisa. And it definitely feels stronger. I love liver. And it just has a different feel. So it's very subtle, but it's about you getting in tune with your energy. You can also do the sway test and have same thing, affirmation. So I'm going to say, my name is Lisa, and my body will swing forward. I love liver, and my body will swing backwards. This works really good in the grocery store when you're asking yourself, should I eat this food or not eat this food? I've done it a few times. What do you think today, body? Just for fun, because I like to practice with these things. So those are a couple of things that, those are a few things that I do to get more in tune with who I am and to connect to my higher self. I can do it. So another way to practice is with food, right? We all have food in our house. So you can hold the food and you can say, is this food beneficial for me? We all have healthy and unhealthy food. Totally, no big deal. So ask yourself. And you also have free will, and we're here for the human experience. So there again, no judgment. You know you know if it's good for you by how it actually makes you feel. But this is just getting that sense up for your body. Is this something? You can also hold the pendulums over it. I've never tried it with cards, but potentially, right? So those are a couple things that I like to use to get in tune. And those are the things that I definitely did in the beginning, because I already knew that we were connected, that I was connected to my higher self. I just didn't know how to fully engage, really. And then that was asking myself questions and feeling how my body feels and getting in tune with that. So our guides there, again, I feel that are like that multiple choice test. The first answer is right. It's B, it's B, it's B, it's B, right? I don't know if it is. But it's that very subtle. Our ego likes to tell a story and come up with all kinds of things and examples from past experiences. You know, that's how you discern which is which. Your higher mind, your source energy, your God is very quiet. Ego is very yappy. So getting in tune with our higher self is connecting with a new sense, right? So as you're doing this, you're building that connection. As you practice connecting with yourself, which is spirit, soul, it is, so essentially it is a sense, you know, like seeing, hearing, taste, touch, that's a sense. Our connection to ourself and our higher self is a sense. We have the ability to tap into it. We do it all the time anyways. Now it's just about being conscious and aware, because it is an innate ability that we all have. It's a sense that we have. Like I said, just like hearing, seeing, taste, touch, right? Smell. We have this ability to do this. So it's just that we don't consciously use this ability like we do with touch or smell, sight, all of it, right? So I think it's time that we started listening more to our bodies. There again, for the human experience, right? No judgment, no like you should be, right? In tune, listen to yourself. Get more in touch with your mind, body, and spirit for that inner wisdom and inner guidance that everybody is seeking. It is all within you, and this is how I connected to the energy. My higher self was through this connecting with myself, doing the body scans, playing with the cards, the pendulum, all of those things. And ultimately, it is like, you know, we want to use our senses. And I'm going to quote Star Wars. Use the Force, Luke. It really is. It is our innate ability to do this, and it is all around us, and it is in us, and it is within us. Whew. So if you have enjoyed today's live broadcast, please leave a comment, love, and share it so it can reach more people. And if you have any mind, body, spirit questions, please reach out either through Messenger or my website, lisahydlifecoach.com. Take care, everyone, and see you next week as we navigate the matrix of our mind, body, and spirit as we're having this human experience. Bye.